Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, Frank Warren's Sports Network, sponsored by the news of the world, Big on Boxing, Spearmint Rhino, live and exclusive on ITV4 and on the internet with www.frankwarren.tv, proudly present 12 3-minute rounds of boxing for the Super Featherweight Championship of Europe. The officials have been appointed by the European Boxing Union and the British Boxing Board of Control. EBU supervisor at ringside, Perty Augustine. British Boxing Board of Control steward in charge, Bernard Connolly. Timekeeper at the bell, Ricky Gilmore. The three scoring judges at ringside for this contest are Freddie Christiansen from Denmark, Bella Florian from Hungary, and Ernst Solzgiber from Austria. Finally, when the action commences, the referee in charge of the action, Mr. Massimo Baravecchio from Italy. And so, people of Edinburgh and viewers watching on ITV4, this is the Big Fight Live! Introducing to you firstly, boxing out of the red corner wearing the black coloured shorts trimmed with white. At the weigh-in yesterday, he scaled 9 stone, 3.5 pounds. He has a perfect undefeated record consisting of 18 contests, 18 wins, 10 of those wins coming by way of knockout, presenting the challenger from Minsk, Belarus, Siarhei Huliakevich. And opposing him, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing the brown coloured shorts trimmed with silver. At yesterday's weigh-in, he scaled 9 stone, 3.75 pounds. He also has an outstanding record, 23 contests, 22 wins. 17 of those wins coming by way of knockout, with only the one single defeat. He comes to the ring this evening as the current Commonwealth champion, tonight making the second defense of his title, presenting the Super Featherweight Champion of Europe from Edinburgh, amazing Alex Arthur. The referee, Mr. Baravecchio, will now instruct the boxers for the final time. 12 3-minute rounds.
Do you remember that I said in the room, don't punch, don't punch below the belt, okay? Okay.
Final words from Massimo Baravecchio, and for Alex Arthur, a second defence of his European title that he won last year against Boris Sinitsyn. Good performance that was. Ricky Burns, his defence earlier this year. And now, can he do it against Siarhei Huliakevich, who may just be the biggest threat that he's had since he stepped into the ring against Michael Gomez. And we all remember what happened that night. A cocky Alex Arthur, less than fully fit. He was given a little bit of a pounding, but he's come back well. And Arthur has gone in trying to unload with big shots from the word go. And he only just missed with that overhand right, which he launched as he came almost running across the ring. You can see, though, as you look at the two fighters, Huliakevich does have the height and reach advantage. But does he have the boxing skill to actually live with Alex Arthur? We will see. Arthur, we know, has got real punching power in both hands. He's got 17 stoppage wins in those 22 victories, and that tells its own story. He's got good, solid power from both flanks, particularly with those trademark hooks to the body.
Well, Huliakevich is unusually tall at 5'10" for a 9 stone 4 fighter, John. It's incredible, really. But you know, I always used to think Alex Arthur was quite tall for his weight. But this is going to shape up quite nicely, because you can see in Huliakevich, he's got a really good tight style, snappy boxer, really fresh faced. So you know, there's no miles on the clock. We're about to find out just how good he is.
Nice little uppercut inside from Arthur. Just having a look at Huliakevich. He's tried to launch several wild-looking overhand rights just trying to perhaps catch the man from Belarus cold. He says that he doesn't have particular respect for his punching power. Maybe that's just bravado and he has a little word in close. I don't think there's much point doing that, because I can tell him that Siarhei Huliakevich does not speak a word of English.
Well, so there'll be no intimidation there by Arthur to Huliakevich.
Growls at him or something.
But Arthur's had good preparation, obviously, for this fight and his last fight against a young Ricky Burns. Very similar in styles as him and Huliakevich, both tall, upright boxers.
Burns had a tendency to leave that left hand low after throwing his jab, and there was shipped a few really solid right hand counters the further the fight went. So far, no sense that Huliakevich is going to do the same. The challenger's actually made quite a bright start to this fight.
Yeah, he certainly has. He doesn't seem to be phased or undaunted in any way. Not afraid to take the fight to the champion. You'd expect Arthur to target the body in such a tall challenger.
He's just having a look, isn't he? I think he's just trying to work his man out. He said he'd watched him, and he's had a couple of decent wins, you know, against tough sort of fighters. Frédéric Bonnefay of France, he had him out in the first round, and had a former European champion, Tonto Tchonchev, out in the second round, so he has got power. Close opening round. Arthur was tagged by a couple of solid right hands in the closing stages of the round. Huliakevich in the other corner stood the entire minute break, a la George Foreman.
Well, that's a psychological edge he's trying to imply on Arthur, just to let him know that he's not tired and he's had a good first round, which he obviously did.
Not too much between them in that opening round, but I personally wouldn't complain with the scoring if they'd given it to the challenger. Good shot, good right hand from Huliakevich, good right hand. Thudded, you could hear it from the ringside effects microphones, it thudded into the ribcage of Alex Arthur. Good one again.
Arthur just waiting just a little bit too long, just allowing Huliakevich just to get off early, get his punches off early, just to beat him to the punch.
Arthur's just been a wee bit slow to settle to his task here. Huliakevich has got a really good business-like, purposeful look to him.
Well, he fancies the fight, you know, it's a big opportunity for him. But if he can wrest this European title away from Alex Arthur, well, obviously, you know, he's going to be champion.
Ranked in the world top 10, of course, is Huliakevich. Something of an unknown quantity to British audiences. Arthur just covering up at this stage, keeping his gloves high, and Huliakevich is not having too much coming back at him at this stage. Cautious sort of opening from the champion.
If you're hitting the target, then your confidence grows, and that's what you're seeing from Huliakevich. You can see it in his eyes, you can see the desire there. Obviously fancies himself as a bit of a puncher.
Comes from a poor background, brought up in Minsk, where he still fights. He's been in gym since he was 12 years old, and you see him talking to Arthur, taunting him as he comes in. I suspect that he'd learnt the word "come on," and he was urging Arthur in. Good body shots. And Arthur so far has not really established a presence in this fight.
No, he's waiting too long. He's waiting too long. He's looking for the big overhand rights to draw Huliakevich in, but he's missed with it several times. Yeah, Huliakevich for me just doing enough in this round.
Good right hand from Huliakevich, and at last Arthur manages to find the target. He struggled in the last fight. No problem with supplements which he was taking, which he reckoned gave him calf cramps in his last fight, which certainly hindered his progress. And he says, don't worry about it, I've got it right this time. Let's hope so. He needs to step it up if he's going to win this fight. Huliakevich standing up once again between rounds. Piotr Bukstanovic, his trainer with the Lech Wałęsa style moustache, giving him words of advice. And we go now into the third round, and well, I think it would be very charitable to have Alex Arthur winning this fight at this stage, although he starts it brightly with a nice solid left jab. Tried to throw the left hook there as a follow-up, but it was just caught, taken on the gloves by Huliakevich, who has a high guard. Good right hand from Arthur, at last finding the range.
There's more urgency now, as you said, John, to Arthur's work. At the beginning of this round, he knows he's got to really break this kid up, get busy, start working harder to head and body.
Wonder if the body might be the key. We've not seen too many of those body shots from Arthur so far, and he's just being outworked. He's slow to the punch some way. He's got to snap his jab with a little bit more authority, I think, Duke, if he's going to start to impose himself on this fight.
Yeah, he's picking up far too many jabs. My liking, there's a slight mark just underneath the right eye of Alex Arthur.
Well, caught by a solid right hand. Doesn't want to walk into too many of those. Well, was there a clash of heads?
Referee's checking it.
Oh, and he's having a look at Arthur's eye, and there's a oh yeah, that's a cut around the right eye, and I think it was done by a clash of heads. It'll be interesting to see that one. Good body shot from Huliakevich. Now these are anxious moments for Alex Arthur. He's cut in the third round and caught again by a left hand which was right on that damaged right eye.
Yeah, the challenger's having a really good round. You know, when you see the blood pouring from your opponent's eye, it just spurs you on. And what
Alex Arthur is going to have a hard night here tonight, Duke. There's no doubt.
Yeah, it looks that way, John. And Huliakevich, what he's doing now is just working. He's gone left hook happy.
He's trying to find that damaged eye. Good work again from Huliakevich. Oh, and a good right hand. And Arthur is receiving a lot of punishment here in this round, and the crowd is stunned. His supporters are quiet.
Well, the reach of Huliakevich is giving the champion trouble. The champion needs to start some more lateral movement to work his way in to get into punching range. But just allowing the challenger that extra couple of inches to get off with his punches.
Well, there's no Wayne McCullough in that corner tonight. It's Brian Clements, who's led corners for that team before. He's been a chief cornerman for Johnny Tapia, among others. But is it going to be enough? And somebody's going to have to go to work on that cut and do a pretty good job on it. Closing seconds of the third round. And again, anxious moments for Arthur. Took a big uppercut in there, landed one of his own, but a real good exchange. And Huliakevich again, for me, getting the better of that. Right hand again from the challenger. Bob Shannon working away on the damaged right eye, and it came there, here, bang, the head clash, that's what did it.
Yeah, unintentional, but a headbutt nonetheless, which has caused that damage to Arthur's eye. But good corner work, good advice from Arthur's corner. You know, more lateral movement, getting close, and, you know, start working your hands.
Bob Shannon, who's the trainer who looked after Andy Morris in the British Featherweight title fight that we've just seen here. He's the man who's worked away to staunch the flow of blood from that cut. It's not actually above the eye, it's more to the side of the right eye, so hopefully it's not going to be impeding his vision at all. Huliakevich, such a gangling sort of fighter, isn't he?
Yeah.
All arms and legs. It's kind of a praying mantis kind of fighter.
Yeah, he's very, very ungangly. He really is. He's got long arms and, you know, like I say, fresh shots.
Better from Arthur. Sorry, Duke. He came in with a good left-hand, right-hand combination. That's a slip. That's a slip. Massimo Barravecchio, the referee, needless to say, from Italy, he ruled correctly that was a slip. Sorry, Duke.
That's okay, John. It's you know, he's a really sort of ungamely looking kind of fighter, but he's quite effective in what he does.
And the blood starting to come again from the right eye of Arthur. as Huliakevich lands with a solid right into the body. He's urging Arthur to come forward. Arthur rightly keeping his gloves up high and lands another good solid left-hand lead and a right over the top. Good shot from Arthur, and that's the best punch he's thrown so far. And suddenly Huliakevich wanted to just hold on and buy a few seconds of recovery time.
Well, Arthur's the more experienced, he's had more knockouts than this guy's had fights on his record, so he's got the experience, he knows how to deal with challenges.
Oh, what an old tear-up this turning out to be now. Huliakevich fancies his punching power, and now Arthur with that right hand, I think, has learned that he can hurt this man. Huliakevich momentarily looked a little bit disorganised and wanted to hold on.
Well, Huliakevich's heart will be tested in this fight.
Arthur's slow to settle into this contest. I know you scored the first round level, Duke. I think I'd give the challenger prior to this round all 3 rounds, but Arthur is now starting to get into the fight. He's warming to the task. Good right hand again from Arthur. He's landed some really good solid headshots in this 4th round.
Well, it's the first round I've given him, John. I give the first round even, the next 2 to Huliakevich, and now the champion just pulling his way back into this round.
And I think he'll draw encouragement from the fact that he's also managed to land with some solid jabs in this round.
Touch him here, aim for the throat.
In the Alex Arthur corner, Brian Clements has said the cut is containable, no reason to panic, and he's also drawn attention to the fact that Huliakevich is starting to drop his left-hand lead. He's saying slip the jab, step to one side and land that right hand, which he's done really impressively already in the previous round, and he started aggressively again as Arthur doubling up on the jab. Huliakevich has been told by his corner, work away to the body, let's see those hooks again.
It's better work from Arthur. Nice little uppercut on the inside there. Doing what the corner expected him to do, going behind the double jab.
And looking to land those chopping right hands as well, aimed at the rather gaunt-looking face of Huliakevich. Good body shot from Huliakevich inside though, good right hand, and Arthur felt the weight of that one, had to cover up momentarily and just drop his gloves. And now we see who's the stronger man in the clinch, and there's Arthur just bullying his man back across the ring.
I just wondered if this fight might have a kind of a repeat of Alex's last fight, which against Burns took a pretty similar fashion, where he had the younger guy come on strong in the first half of the fight, and then he took over in the second half of the fight.
Good right hand there from Arthur, and suddenly Huliakevich looks a little bit disorganised again. It was a solid right hand, and he's bullying Huliakevich around in there. Big body shots and another right hand. Huliakevich bravely comes trying to fight back, but he's not planting himself as well as he did earlier in the fight, and those looking more like arm punches than anything else.
Yeah, it was a good body shot from Arthur, which brought the guard down from Huliakevich and totally disorientated him.
It's better from the challenger though, and Arthur forced to give ground. It has the makings of a good fight, this one. It's warming up. Had an excellent British title fight earlier on, and now the European super featherweight title fight. Alex Arthur in the brown shorts, trying to defend his title for the second time, and is starting to have a lot of success with that right hand turned in over the top.
Yeah, the champion just starting to warm to the task now, landing just a bit more freely.
The blood around the right eye, I don't think affecting his vision. That's a good uppercut from Arthur. Really detonated that one onto the chin of Huliakevich, who, credit due, he took it very well. Solid right hand from Alex Arthur.
Much better round from the champion, John. Setting up these attacks behind a good jab. Big right hands. Nice work on the inside.
Oh, good shot again. Yeah. Sorry, Duke. Good shot again. Right hand. Huliakevich, though, has moments of his own, and remember, he is a puncher, and he's talking to Arthur in there. I don't think Arthur will be understanding a lot of it, but he's trying to bring him forward. Maybe he's trying to get himself to be composed. Last few seconds of a dramatic 5th round. And for the first time, Siarhei Huliakevich has chosen to sit down between rounds. And I think, again, that tells its own story, because Alex Arthur is right back in this fight. On my scorecard, he's won the last two, and the right hand over the top has been the key to the fight and working far more effectively now behind the jab. Huliakevich is starting to have to dig now into reserves of stamina.
Yeah, Huliakevich for the first time looking quite tired in that corner. As you said, John, had to take a seat. You know, rightly so, you should take your rest where you can, because you know the fight's going to get harder as it goes on. The champion now forcing the fight, making Huliakevich work, trying to wear him down.
Remember, this is Alex Arthur's mandatory defence. He had to face Huliakevich. They talk about possible world title fights later in the year, and chances are opening up. Marco Antonio Barrera's relinquished the IBF title. He's fighting shortly in defence of his WBC title, but Arthur has high rankings, and it may be, just maybe, that he could wind up fighting Manuel Medina, who we'll remember from fights against Scott Harrison. Medina, the #1 ranked challenger in the IBF rankings, and Harrison is right up there behind him, so that fight could happen. It's by no means an impossibility, and Medina at 46 is not getting any better. Good right hand from Arthur, but then back came Huliakevich with a chopping right hand of his own.
Challenger blind quite heavily now, and the champion getting through just a bit more cleanly with the right hand, really forcing the pace of this fight.
Huliakevich started planting really well with those hooks, but he's just, the further the fight has gone, the less mobile he's looked, and the more he's just flacked away in arm punches, for my way of looking at it. And Arthur's had the greater power, particularly with the right hand.
Yeah, Huliakevich looking more tentative now in his attacks.
Arthur holding on. It's a grueling sort of fight, this one. Arthur never seems to have a particularly easy fight, does he? 3 of his last 4 have gone the distance. Oh, that's good work again from the champion. Huliakevich trying to work away off the ropes. Oh, that's a headbutt. No, that's not allowed. And that is right out of order. The head went down into the chest of Arthur, and he brought it up right into his jaw. And now the referee is taking points away. I think he's making. Now he's holding 2 fingers up. Is he making a 2-point deduction? I think he may well be. He's saying, why? Why have you done that? Why? And if he does that again, I tell you what, he'll throw him out. This referee is going to stand for no nonsense, and Alex Arthur is being given time to recover, and that was a blatant and deliberate headbutt.
Well, sheer desperation setting from Huliakevich there. I don't know what he was thinking, but that's not in the rule book anywhere.
Oh, good right hand from Arthur. Huliakevich fighting out of desperation now. Arthur came out of the corner, and he's angry. I tell you what, he's really angry. And now the referee having a look at the eye socket, I think, of Huliakevich, looking to see if he's broken something.
No, I think what the referee's saying is that there was a headbutt by Arthur.
Really?
He was saying that to the judges. There's been a headbutt immediately.
Either way, we've got real drama here in the 6th round. Big right hand from Arthur as he came out of the corner and caught him with a couple. And another big right from Arthur. He's fighting angry here, Alex Arthur. That left eye's a mess.
It's Huliakevich's cut, John.
Yep, indeed. Whether it was the clash of heads or the right hand that did it, he's in a mess. And they're going to have to work hard, and that's a very much worse cut than Arthur's got. Big right hand again from Arthur. Followed by the left, and down he goes. That's an authentic knockdown, and the end of a big round for Alex Arthur. 2-point deduction, has to be a 10-8 with the knockdown. So where do we go there? 10-7, 10-6. Huge round to Alex Arthur.
Yeah, the champion, you know, he had a point. There was a point deducted, and then he had the knockdown.
We've been told it's not a knockdown. It's been ruled not a knockdown. There's the headbutt, Duke. And at the end, the referees ruled not a knockdown. I'm not sure I quite understand that one, but there's the headbutt. That's crazy.
As blatant and as deliberate as you would like. But the referee doing the right thing in saying...
There's the right hand that Arthur came back with, and he came right through with his head as he followed in. Now, whether that caused the cut or not, I'm not sure, but Arthur was a very angry man, and you can understand it.
Yeah, he certainly was.
Well, I think with due sober reflection, we scored that one 10-7 to Arthur, do we?
I think so, John.
And that puts Alex Arthur right in control of this fight. After Siarhei Huliakevich, the 24-year-old challenger from Minsk in Belarus, maybe took the first 3 rounds. Since then, it's been all Alex Arthur, and that 6th round was a very, very big round to the champion.
Yeah, the 6th round, that was quite a telling round. Huliakevich fighting with real desperation.
Still don't quite understand why that wasn't a knockdown.
Well, he touched down, and if you touch the canvas in the fight and a punch has been delivered, then you get the knockdown.
I think they might be going to stop this one. He's called for the doctor to have a look at the cut. I think this fight might be over, and the doctor is shaking his head. I think the fight's going to be called off. He's shrugging his shoulders, and well, one more round maybe. Is that going to be the ruling? Oh well, there we go, on it goes. Now Huliakevich has got to gamble. He's got to knock Arthur out because he knows that the fight is absolutely on the line because the doctor's been called, and now Arthur just needs to cover up and box sensibly.
Yeah, Huliakevich realises now that this is starting to slip away from him. He's a wounded animal in there, so he's got to take the fight to the champion.
His face is an awful mess, Duke. That cut over the left eye looks a very deep one. That's going to need stitches. Good body shot from Arthur. This is not ballroom dancing.
Both boxers have had infringements. Both boxers are now cut. We've had a suspect knockdown.
What do you call it? Simply mayhem?
It looks that way, John.
Arthur, though, is on his way to retaining his title, doubling up well with good solid jabs, and another one. Wild hooks coming back from Huliakevich. Right hand gets through, but Arthur takes it well. Straightening his punches and going right into the face again of Huliakevich, who's protesting angrily to the referee.
He's stopping it, John.
And I think that is the end of the fight. He stopped it. He stopped it, I think. The fight, I think, is... Well, is it going to go to the cards now? He certainly stopped it. Alex Arthur is going across to the corner and he's being told by the referee, hang on a minute, this isn't a win for you yet, this is going to go to the scorecards. I think that's what the referee's saying. He's getting the scorecards in and they're going to be collated now. Four rounds is the cut-off point, and after 4 rounds it goes to the cards if it is deemed to be a cut which is accidental, and that's an accidental clash of heads which has caused that. So it goes to the cards. Here's the right over the top, and there's the clash of heads. That was the one which did the damage. We think that's the one which opened it up around the left eye, and then forward came Arthur again. Oh dear, that was absolutely full on.
Oh, that was a real bad collision with both boxers.
Well, on my card, I have to have Alex Arthur being ahead. I've got him by a couple of points in the completed rounds.
Myself, I've got exactly the same as you, John.
In which case, Alex Arthur has to be retaining his title, I think. But my goodness, what a wild brawl that was from the word go. Heads right into it, and bad cuts for both men. And an anxious wait for the Arthur camp. Has he retained his title? I reckon he has, but Alex won't know that. The celebrations began. Arthur thought his man had been stopped. He thought that the fight was all over and going to be all over on an authentic stoppage, but that's not the case. And so we wait for the tallies of the scorecards. And the supervisors on the far side of the ring taking a very close look at this one. There was rather debatable European title fight decision over in Ireland not too long back involving Damien Kelly, and a lot of protests about that one, with the British Boxing Board of Control going to be registering an official complaint with the EBU, the European Boxing Union, and they'll want to make absolutely certain that everything is kosher, above board here. They'll want no more problems of that sort and no more dissension. We will see. Frank Warren right in front of us asking us how we've got it, and Barry McGuigan relaying the fact that we'd had it by a couple of rounds, couple of points to Alex Arthur. Excuse me, Alex Arthur. So nothing to worry about, but nevertheless the judges taking an awful long time, or rather the inspectors taking an awful long time to get this one absolutely right, and now the deliberations I think are over. And they're now speaking to Michael Pass, the Master of Ceremonies, telling him exactly what the verdict is so that Michael gets it absolutely right. Handshakes all round, and I don't think that Massimo Baravecchio, the referee, could have realised what an eventful night he was going to have when he heard that he was going to be refereeing the European title fight between Alex Arthur and Siarhei Huliakevich. Well, what a night he's had. And Brian Clements running the corner for Alex Arthur for the first time. Dramatic night for him as well. Just lined up a celebration in a Mexican restaurant here in Edinburgh later on tonight. I wonder if it's going to be celebration or not, but that cut, oh dear, that is evil. That is a real mess, and that's going to need immediate medical attention. And I think he must know, surely he must know, that this verdict is not going to go in his direction. I think we might now have the verdict ready if the referee gets the fighters to centre ring. Certainly Michael Pass is indicating he has got the result. Let's go into the ring.
Under European Boxing Union rules, due to an accidental head clash where the challenger Siarhei Huliakevich sustained a laceration above the left eye before the end of the 4th round, under European Boxing Union rules, if the cut worsens, then we shall go to the scorecards. After 6 completed rounds, the scorecards are as follows. Judge Freddie Christensen scores the contest 69 points to 63 points. Bela Florian of Hungary scores the contest 68 points to 63 points. And Judge Ernst Solzgiber scores the contest 69 points to 64 points. Your winner by technical decision, and he is still the Super Featherweight Champion of Europe, Edinburgh's Alex Arthur.
Arthur retains his title. Few sighs of relief. Wide scores on the judges' cards by 6 rounds, 5 rounds, and 5 rounds once again. We had it a little bit closer, but the fact of the matter is that Arthur has defended his title successfully. What a literally blood-stained brawl that turned out to be. Siarhei Huliakevich will be needing medical attention, and he's led away out of the ring, while Alex Arthur once again has the European champion's belt strapped around his waist. Getting congratulations from his promoter and manager Frank Warren. And Alex Arthur making his way down now towards our interview position, and he'll be a happy man and relieved, I think, that that one is out of the way, and that cut that he sustained so early wasn't a little bit worse. We can go across the ring now and join Jim Rosenthal with Alex Arthur.
Alex Arthur, still the champion. What an eventful night for you. Give us your overall feelings about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm obviously happy with the victory. He deliberately butted me quite intentionally, and you know, and from there on in, I actually started seeing stars a little bit. You know, I've never seen stars before. You know, like in that fashion. And
you can see it down here now. Yeah. It all went off. All went off in the 6th.
Yeah, it was a very powerful headbutt, and my equilibrium just went a little bit afterwards. You know, it was a strange feeling. But fortunately enough, you know, I got myself together and came back from it.
Well, here's what happened straight away. Some comeback this, by the way.
Yeah,
And then your heads go together, and that's...
Oh yeah. Well, fortunately my head was down and not up this time, you know. Previous to that, he butted me again, you know. That's two Philip Fondu's Russian fighters that have butted me deliberately now and cut me. You know, Boris Sinitsyn cut me a little bit worse than that fella did. So.
Did you start a bit slowly out there tonight?
Yeah, I would say I did. I normally do, but don't I? There's nothing new there, you know. I'm not the quickest starter in the world, you know, but all these things have got to be worked on, you know, and they will be. And I'd just like to say, first and foremost, you know, thanks to God, because without him, it's not possible, and he makes all my victories come for true.
And long term for the rest of the year, I know you've been a really busy fighter, hardly out of the gym since October, have you?
Right,
Are you going to take a bit of a breather and then come back, hopefully, with a world title shot?
Well, most definitely, yeah. I've actually got the first holiday booked for me and my family for over a year now, and I can't wait to be dad again. I've got two amazing kids, Alex Jr., I love you, who'll be watching, and listening, I love them both. They'll be watching with their granddad. You
don't believe in doing things easily, do you? This was a tough night's work for you.
Yeah, me and Frank knew that. You know, me and Frank took this one on, and we knew it was going to be tough. We knew we were going to, you know, we've got a big guy in there who can bang, you know, very hard. And, you know, I've proved again that I've got a fantastic chin, you know.
And just a final word, making this weight and things like that, how gruelling is it still for you?
It's not a problem. Everyone's making such a big deal out of my weight, and it's just...
Only asking.
You know, in that week there, Jim, I'd done 4 training sessions. I was drinking 8 litres of water a day and on 6 meals, 3 snacks. I made the weight easily and managed breakfast on the morning of the weigh-in.
Just a final word about a possible all-Scottish fight against your world champion up here, against Scott Harrison.
Well, Scott Harrison's a fantastic world champion, you know, and Scotland's a small place, you know, and Scott is the world featherweight champion. I want to be the world super featherweight champion. I've looked up to Scott for a long time. I've got all the respect in the world for him, and I support him every time he fights, and I'll be in Belfast to support him again.
It's a great night for you here tonight. Well done. Big entertainment as always. You have a good rest and come back fighting, won't you?
Thanks to my team, very thanks to my team, and Bob Shannon for his cuts. Fantastic.
Well done.
Brilliant. Thank you.